What's going on, everyone? It's Robert O'Crook from the Digital Nomads Forum. This week's video is all about if you need to invest into a course or a coach to be successful at becoming a digital nomad and in turn become a successful remote worker. So, in my opinion, the answer is both yes and no. So how do you know which answer applies to you? Well, the reason this topic got brought up in my mind for this week's video was because one of the Digital Nomads Forum community members will abbreviate his name to Zed. So Zed's been in the group for over half a year now, I think. And so he came in about half a year or so ago and was saying how he was having some challenges to consistently earn remote work and therefore remote income so he could actually fund his adventures around the world. And so myself and some of the other community members at the time gave some pretty awesome practical advice and exactly maybe some of the steps he needed to take at that time to kind of overcome where he was stuck. But fast forward now 6 months down the line, and Zed's still, he's made some progress by himself, and that's awesome because consistently making steps 6 months later is, if continued for long enough, will lead to success. But the reality is that for most of you who are watching, if you're interested in becoming a digital nomad or remote worker, well, you don't want to wait 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years plus, whatever it would be, maybe for you to figure it out on your own. Now that's not to say you can do it overnight, but what I see as a realistic time frame for many people is 1 to 2 months. So, and that's 1 to 2 months to start consistently earning a decent remote income. So for Zed, he's made some progress in 6 months by himself, but he has not reached his goals to be kind of financially stable, let's say, financially stable so that he can afford to do his travels. So for someone like Zed, then my advice is, do you need to invest into a course or a coach? And the answer is yes, if you want to be successful at earning a consistent income through remote work and therefore being a digital nomad in a time frame that's 1 to 2 months. If you are content with kind of just stumbling on at your own pace by yourself, taking advantage of the great free resources that are available on people's websites, on YouTube, in groups like the one that I run, the Digital Nomads Forum. If you're fine to take longer, then that's fine. Do it by yourself. You don't have to invest money into a course or coaching. But if you're trying it by yourself, and it's not really working out the way you want, or not as quickly as you want, or not as successfully as you want, then that's the time to make that self-investment and get a course, get a coach. Which should you get? Well, it depends on what you need and what your strengths and weaknesses are. If you're very independent, a great self-learner, and you actually are good at applying the knowledge that you learn from a course or a book, for example, which, just so you know, most people are not that great at this, then great, just get a course. But what I consistently see in the Digital Nomads Forum is a lot more people who don't need help so much with the right information. Sometimes that's an issue. They just literally don't know what the next step is. They don't know what skill they're gonna offer. They don't know how to land the client. Those are the practical, technical details that need to be figured out. But the other side to it is that they need support in the form of accountability. They need a friend, a family member, a coach, somebody to basically actually hold them accountable to implementing that awesome knowledge that's gonna lead them to success as a digital nomad. They need accountability to actually execute the work that is required to have their success. So you have take a moment to reflect on yourself and what's going on in your digital nomad journey. Are you just starting? Are you consistently successful figuring things out on your own? Great, continue as you're going if you don't want to invest. Do you want to do it faster? Do you need accountability? Do you want to be a little bit more successful than you would be compared to doing it on your own? Also great. Acknowledge that you need some help. That is not weakness. In fact, it's so much harder to say, hey, I need some help. Can you help me? Whether that means purchasing a course, getting help from a coach, getting an accountability partner, a friend. It's hard to do everything for free. Can you do it? Yes. Does it take longer for most people? Yes. Am I also biased because I sell a digital nomad course and coaching services? Yes, I am. But I guess what I'll leave the takeaway as for you is I'm not saying buy my course, get my coaching. I'm saying get some sort of support. It doesn't matter if it's from me or someone else who you trust and feel is reputable. Get support somewhere. That's the important message. And if you're kind of in this phase where you just simply don't have the cash available, whatever it is, and you need some great support and you want it to be free and you don't know where to look, well, I'm happy you're watching this video because you probably are then familiar with my Digital Nomads Forum Facebook group community. Come in there, it's totally free. Post your specific questions. Myself and other community members who are already doing what you're trying to figure out are happy to give our advice on what's worked for us. And if it's me answering, I'll definitely give my advice on what I also see working for everyone else in the community. So wherever you are in the world, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Otherwise, give me a like and please leave any comments if you have any questions. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Robert Krug. Ciao.